Welcome to Inner Light, where insights meet innovation. Today's guest, Michael Elliot, has lived the full entrepreneurial arc, from heartbreak and hard knocks to building multi-million pound success stories. A digital advertising expert turned AI event, Michael believes that businesses that don't evolve now will soon be extinct. Tonight, we dive into resilience, reinvention, and the real power of intelligent transformation. Welcome to the show, Michael. It's such an honor to have you.
No, thank you very much. It's an honor to be on the podcast. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my thoughts with the listeners today.
So, Michael, you have said businesses must act now on AI. What makes this moment so critical?
What makes this moment so critical for business AI adoption is there's a couple of things. The first thing is when you are adopting AI, you have to understand the human element of it. So a business can't just go and fully transform overnight into being a AI first company because the humans inside of the company will struggle to adapt with all of the changes at once, which is something that I've seen when I've worked on large projects for clients like DirecTV out the US, etc. You see that if there's a big shift in that, then the team can struggle to adapt. However, when it comes down to the AI adoption, if you were to focus on the major areas, which are, say, speed to lead systems and sales processes, manual data entry, things that take time to manually data. And if you think about the old school way an inquiry would come in, you would answer the phone, you would then write those notes into a CRM and then create a task to call them back, for example. If you focus on sales processes, data handling, client churn detection, and understanding when clients are going to cancel or key indicators that showcase that, and you have that information as a business, you're going to be stronger, more predictable from a revenue perspective, because you can use AI to not only look at data and do things in real time, you can also structure it in your business to forecast what is actually going to happen based off of your cancellation rates, etc. So you can budget more efficiently. And if you had 10 businesses in a room that were all in exactly the same position, and 5 of them all adopted the AI to assist them, and 5 of them didn't, I guarantee you that the 5 that adopted them would be head and shoulders above what the businesses who didn't adopt AI were. And there is a common theme at the moment of a resistance to AI, as if AI is in some way harmful or in some way going to harm businesses. Now, that comes down to the quality of the production and deployment. That's where that comes in. Yes, AI can hallucinate. Yes, AI can cause issues. But the reporting about Canada, as the client who I've recently worked with, and they were handling their manual ticket triage. They're a SaaS business. So when there's a problem, they get a ticket opened up by their clients. I took their open rates from their first response close rates of tickets from 22% to 76% in the space of 6 weeks. So that means that all of their customer support team, I can't remember exactly how many there are, but 60% or 70% of their workload or whatever the numbers add up to it's been depleted because the AI is now instantly handling that for them. That's an example of where if they had a direct competitor doing exactly the same thing, whose sales, customer service team are still manually going through and handling those tickets, where they are extremely inefficient in comparison to their competitors. And the gap is only going to grow. So as that gap grows and more AI tools become more and more available and easier to use, and humans become more adapted to AI, they expect to be using AI in most cases. I don't know about you, but when I log into my online banking app, it's an AI agent that I speak to. It's not a person unless it's something serious where it needs escalating. So eventually the whole world's going to be used to having AI answer its queries anyway. But that's why it's so important, because you will be left behind in a race and you'll wake up one day and be like, I need to implement AI. And by the time that comes, all of your competitors have already implemented AI into businesses, and you are like 2 years behind in the race.
Yeah. So, do you think fear or ignorance is the bigger barrier keeping leaders from taking action?
Yeah, I think the thing is that it's a significant investment financially. Like, to work with somebody who's going to do it properly, like myself, it is a significant investment. You then have the fear of what you have been used to and what has made you successful till this point being changed, so that they get concerned about that. But it's the same as anything in life. You have to look at what's coming in the future down the road. Just look at what's happening. I have a very similar belief in crypto. I have a family member who is in an extremely senior position at one of the biggest crypto firms in the world, like literally in the world. And crypto will become part of our everyday lifestyle. It will, factually. Whether it's governed or not, and they step in and they tax, etc., whatever, that's different. But it will definitely become part and parcel of our everyday lives, where you can go use it, you can pay using crypto. And it's the same thing when it comes down to the AI sort of situation. AI is something that people do fear, but it's natural for human beings to fear change. It takes bold and strong leaders of businesses to make the decision to be able to go and implement AI into their business. And as I stated at the start of this podcast, you definitely shouldn't do it like gung ho. You should do it step by step. So fix one area first, like your sales onboarding process. Implement AI into that, and then move on to customer experience, and then move on to customer retention. Because ultimately, what every business wants is more revenue, more guaranteed consistency and longevity of clients and retention. And that's what AI provides when used properly. That's what it gives you. So, they shouldn't fear that. A business doesn't fear making more money. A business doesn't fear being more efficient. A business doesn't fear having less staff overhead in terms of wages. It doesn't fear any of those things, but yet they're willing to fear the implementation of something that can drive all of those things in a positive direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a striking truth. Waiting might feel safe, but in this era, itself can be a risk.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's the biggest risk you can take right now is to not adopt AI. That's my honest belief. I see it every day, and so I know what is possible. And yeah, like, even just, I'm not saying this kind of like inverted commas cheesy things, but like, for example, if Sora 2 or Google's VO3, right? When you look at VO3, you've gone from an era where you would have, like, let's say you're in New York and you wanted a creative made, an 8-second video made about a specific product. You would have to go to that company, have photo shoots, take them products, pay them probably tens of thousands of pounds, if not definitely thousands, to create this video. I can now create it with a system prompt in 30 seconds. That's the power of AI, and it's only going to get more and more powerful. So businesses should see it as a huge opportunity. Don't be scared of it. Understand it. Don't jump in head first, but understand it. Look at your business. Look at your bottlenecks inside of your company, which is that's where I come in. I look at businesses and I tell them where their bottlenecks are, because sometimes they can't see them. Like the churn risk detection is a big one. And not a lot of people, they have a regular percentage of churn. They might keep clients for an average of 9 months, and they think that that's normal. But if you implemented AI steps that spotted that if a client has not booked a call with a member of staff in the last 6 weeks, that you know that they are 80% more likely to churn, you automatically go out there and actively book a call with that client instead of just waiting for them to cancel. And that's the sort of thing I'm talking about when I mention fearing AI, because if your competitors are doing all of those things and you are not, your service is not as good as theirs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you spent years mastering Google Ads before shifting to AI. How did that journey reshape your understanding of marketing and human behavior?
It's interesting because I know everything about the way, well, nobody knows everything, but I know a lot about the way people search online, behaviors. Like, for example, I went through the change of near me phrases becoming a really common thing. Like, people would normally search restaurants in New York, restaurants in, I don't know, like Brooklyn, whatever. They would search for these things. But then it started to shift to near me related phrases where they wanted something that was close to them. And that wasn't always the case. People didn't regularly search near me. There was a massive boost in that, like as time progressed. And I use that just as like a basic example. It's not the biggest example, but it's an example of search behavior changing, right? Now, what's going to happen and what is happening is people are going to be using, I no longer use Google search. I use Comet, like Perplexity AI's Comet. The other day, I had it, well, I did a YouTube video on it, like for my YouTube channel, but I had a video, I've got a video coming out where I make it book a flight for me. And all I do is tell it where I want to go, what time I want to go, and what class I want to fly in. And it went straight to British Airways. It went straight to London Heathrow, straight to business class, pulled up all of the individual flights on my given day, chose the right time, all on itself, like automatically. So the way that people search it is going to change. And I've seen that. And that was my connection to AI. So when I got connected to AI 3.5 years ago, was because a few smart clients of mine that had loads of lead generation from Google advertisements, leads coming through the door all the time. They realized that their staff weren't efficiently handling them. And when that happened, they were like, how can we automate this process? So, since not the dawn of time, but for a very long time, people have used like email sequences. After you submit a form, you get an email, and you get one 3 days later, then one 5 days later. Well, what smart businesses were looking for were more interactive solutions. And now what you've got is tools like Aircaller, Closebot, BotPress that allow you to be able to have two-way conversations with your inquiries without even a member of staff looking at it. It happens. They don't know it's AI. Some people may click on, but you program it and give the knowledge base and source to the individual agent. So it understands everything about your company, everything about the inquiry type that you've got, and it can qualify them for you. And the benefits of that are multi-pronged, because not only are you when ultimately the end goal is to get them to do something. So what is that something? Is it to book a call? Is it to be passed to a sales member? It could be anything for any business. It depends on what they do. But what it also does is the 30%, 20% of your inquiries that are what we call in the UK tire kickers, like they were never going to become never going to convert with you anyway. It weeds those out. So not only do you eradicate your sales team spending time on inquiries which don't suit your business, you also get them to focus on the 80% of the inquiries that could possibly become like clients of the business, and do so with clear preparation. Because, and we're rolling into a lot of detail here, but that's how I made my transition, because clients were basically coming to me saying, how can we do this? These tools were out there. They've advanced since. We go high level with Closebot or BotPress or whatever, all of these things. And then you also have the fact that it allows your team members to actually focus on things that generate revenue and business and quality of service, instead of trying to call the same person for 2 weeks that is never going to answer and was a spam lead anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And do you think data has replaced intuition, or does real marketing still require both?
Yeah, so that AI will never replace human beings. This is a common scaremongering tactic, and this is not scaremongering tactic, but it's something that people fear. Like people look at it, they fear. Now, if your job is admin, and you're in a position where you are all you do all day is take data and enter it into something, your job is going to go. No doubt. Like, that's just a fact. Because a business can do it automatically without paying you your salary. So in certain areas, you are going to see a decline in job roles. You're going to see a huge reduction of the required jobs for the same size business. A business that needed 400 employees might now only need 200 employees, which is going to have an impact on the economy because the government have to pick up the remainder of what's left in terms of funding. And that's why I've been preaching on my YouTube channel that everybody needs to switch their brains to become more entrepreneurial and sees this. This is the biggest opportunity to make millions that you've ever had in your life, right? AI presents so many opportunities for you, for everybody. You don't have to be technical. I'm not a developer, but I build complex AI solutions every single day. And so I look at it as an opportunity, but only if you look at it from an entrepreneurial mindset point of view. If you look at it from a negative, oh my gosh, it's coming to take my job, then that's going to cause issues. The problems that we face as a society are not related to AI. AI is just the next advancement. If you go back and you look at like the agricultural age, that then went into the industrial age, which was like offices, and you'd live 5 miles from your house. Like a great analogy of this, I've used this before, but a great analogy of this is like The Simpsons. A lot of people listening to this will have seen The Simpsons, right? In The Simpsons, Homer had a stay-at-home wife, 3 kids, he ran a car, he went on holidays, and he did it all through his wage. In that era, in the industrial era, average work was paid at a good rate. If you look at the price now of a house to purchase in comparison to the average salary, like here in the UK, and you did it in comparison to the industrial age, like Homer Simpson times, let's say. I know that Simpsons are still around now, but like that sort of times when it was around, the difference in inflation versus what you earn now is frightening. People can't even afford to put their heating on. It's that crazy. And the reason why I tie all of this together is that if you do not look at from an employee side of things, if you do not look at AI as an entrepreneurial opportunity for yourself, you're going to leave yourself in a situation where you're potentially left jobless, depending on what you do. At best, and why I don't think everyone should panic, is that what will happen is you will stop being a doer, like an actual typing in of data, and you will start to become an architect of that data, where you analyze it, you look at the review, you see how you can assist the AI, you monitor its mistakes, you feed that information back. So, I don't want everyone to listen to me and think, well, Michael thinks that AI is coming, it's going to take everyone's job. But I'm telling you now, factually, there's going to be a massive reduction in the amount of jobs in specific areas that are easily replaceable. Manual entry, manual factory work of doing certain things that could be done by an AI machine. Like these things, that they're all going to be replaced, and it's going to mean a lot of redundancies. And when that happens, what I'm trying to preach on podcasts like this and on other areas is that if you actually just shifted your mindset ever so slightly and was to focus on learning AI, how to implement AI, because there's 3 different levels. You start off with like using ChatGPT backwards and forwards. That's what everyone does. Everyone's done that. My dad and mum have done that. Like they type in something in ChatGPT. Then you've got like the use cases of ChatGPT for assisting you. So you create system prompts, you create automations out of it based off of NAN and make.com, and you start to automate things yourself, even if it's just like a calendar update in the morning. And then finally, like the 3rd stage is to build businesses around AI, like building businesses that help yourself. And if I could say and shake somebody listening to this, like who is in a job where they feel like they're not rewarded, their boss doesn't treat them very well, and they feel like they're stuck. Well, I was there once. I was there 4 years ago. And now I own 2 7-figure company, and I'm worth millions. And I say that simply, I'm not flashy. I take a modest income. I reinvest all of my money. I don't have that's not the sort of person I am. But what I'm telling you is that I didn't think that any of this was possible 4 years ago either. And I needed someone like me to tell me that, listen, you don't need to be a genius to be an entrepreneur. You just have to not quit and handle rejection well. Reject it when someone says no to you. Take that no as one step closer to a yes. Improve what you offered at that time and make it 1% better. Keep doing that 100 times. For 100 no's, you've improved your product to 100%. And eventually you will start turning those no's into yeses, and then you will be able to scale. So seriously, like, I am no genius. I'm nobody special. I am just a guy who refuses to quit and works hard. And AI is the biggest opportunity if you wanted to turn that mentality on, like, to make money. So yeah, that is my answer to that question.
Mm-hmm. I love that perspective. Like using AI not to erase it, but amplify instinct.
Yeah, exactly. It's there to help us, not harm us. And that's the way that you should look at it in your job. You should look at it in your business. Because if you are to, like, even right now, if you can correctly system prompt an LLM, which I might be a bit technical for some people listening, maybe, I don't know, but it just stick with me. But like, if you could system, right, if you go to ChatGPT, ask it loads of questions about how you should pitch a proposal on your next sales meeting. Keep asking it questions. Keep bounding it with questions. Say, what if they say this? What if they say that? What if they say this? What if they ask this question? Do that and continue to press it and just ask all those questions. When you get the right answer that you consider to be a good pitch for that job, ask the LLM to produce you a system prompt that would have given you that answer straight away. That's all you have to do. Get it to a point where it's answered the question in the way and the format that you would like, and then literally just type in the box, please give me the exact system prompt that would give me that output every single time. And once you have that system output, that system prompt, you put it in the system instruction inside of ChatGPT or AI Studio or wherever you're going. And then every time you have a pitch deck sales call coming up, you just feed it with, hey, I have a sales pitch coming up for X client. It's about this. Give me the brief. And it will give you the brief in the exact way that it gave it you previously. Do you know, if everybody went and did that, they would be ahead of 85% of people in the AI arena already. So this myth that it's too late to join the AI party is not true. Like, you just need to commit, and that's all it'll take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. So what a charged and eye-opening conversation. Michael reminds us that technology doesn't replace us, it refines us. The question isn't if AI will reshape your business, but whether you will lead that change or be left behind. Stay curious, stay adaptable, and keep your inner light tuned to the future.